And for more on the latest developments in Ukraine, we are joined by retired Air Force Lieutenant General Richard Newton. Always good to see you. Thanks for being here. What is the message and the significance of Nancy Pelosi and these other high-ranking members of the U.S. political establishment on the ground in Ukraine?
Well, good evening, Ruta Bay. It is significant. It's on the heels of several days or so ago when Secretary of Defense Austin and Secretary of State Blinken also visited with President Zelensky in Kyiv. And it shows, again, the U.S. commitment, not only from the executive branch, the administration, but also the Congress. Now, this was only a Democrat-led congressional delegation, but nonetheless, it's significant because you have the Speaker of the House leading the effort there to meet with President Zelensky. So it shows U.S. resolve, U.S. commitment, and as reported earlier by Congressman McCall this morning on one of the talk shows, that there is going to be a $33 billion package before Congress, but Congress is out this week. So, but time is of the essence. But nonetheless, it's significant, and I was very, very glad to see that.
And work tonight, as we just mentioned, the evacuation of that steel plant in Mariupol finally got underway. Do you have any word on that? I mean, that is a terrifying situation.
It is. There are still many Ukrainian soldiers who've been wounded in action are still at the steel plant. It's reported that the UN led the escort of some Ukrainian military, but mostly civilians, out of that plant and so forth. But the Russians will continue to bombard that area. They still, in their view, they believe they've taken Mariupol, but with that steel plant holding out, it shows the resolve of the Ukrainian people and the Ukrainian military. So I think the Russians will still keep an eye on Mariupol. It's not done yet, but it's still significant once it's been achieved.
And meantime, the fighting continues in the east. More reports of Russian generals going down, either being killed or wounded. And this really now comes down to a battle of logistics, right?
It is. It's a significant battle of logistics. Not only logistics, however, but also the combined arms element, the ability of Russia, or the lack of their ability, to combine arms in terms of heavy armor, infantry, even air capabilities and so forth, and integrate and synchronize those. All the while, the Ukrainians have been very crafty, since February 24th, in keeping the Russians out of step. And as you mentioned, there have been several Russian general officer and flag officers at the very senior level who have either been wounded in action or killed in action. And so that is also showing that the Russian generals are having to get out front more so than perhaps they would if their middle leaders were more effective, nonetheless. But they're forced to get out of their bunkers and in the front lines, and therefore they become very good targets of opportunity for the Ukrainian military, and they've proven their muster in terms of the Ukrainians of being able to pick off some of these general officers.
And I wanted to ask you about this too. Elsewhere in the region, NATO is looking a lot better to Sweden and Finland, particularly after Sweden said those Russian airplanes violated its airspace. So this invasion really, and we've talked about this before, has unified the rest of Europe and the West, and it's reshaping and strengthening the alliance, right? It's backfiring on Putin.
Ruta Bay, you nailed it. I've never seen NATO more aligned, more unified than I have literally this evening. My sources tell me, I believe it's out in the public now, that Finland is now going to put forward a vote and going to ask for NATO membership, which would have been, nobody would have thought of this a year ago, much less 10, 15, 20 years or so ago. That is a significant. I don't know if Sweden will be near at hand in terms of joining NATO, but it does show the rallying around NATO. It does show the rallying, frankly, around President Zelensky and the Ukrainian military and the Ukrainian people. I think it's a great move, but we're still in the early stages. Representative McCall, again, as I mentioned earlier, said that, the next 2 or 3 weeks will be critical. I believe the next 2 to 3 months will also be critical. This is not going to be a week-by-week conflict. This is going to be month by month, if not into years. And so we have to think about rearming the Ukrainians, not only with heavy capabilities and armament and aircraft and so forth, but the sustainment of that logistics, the sustainment of that resupply is going to be critical as well.
And we've talked about the misinformation and the propaganda that's being put out there. Putin now recasting this, his invasion, as a broader war between Russia and the West. Why does he want to perpetuate that narrative? What does that do for him?
Well, what it does for him, it bolsters his domestic audience, especially in Moscow. And inside that domestic audience, inside Russia, and as I mentioned in Moscow, it's also those who are closely aligned with him inside the Putin inner circle. He's trying to rally those who are important to him and key to him in order for him to not only execute and continue the invasion, but frankly, to stay in power. And so this is again, right out of his playbook. One more point, though, on that note, Rudabeh, is the fact that May 9th is going to be the great victory parade, the great victory date when Russia defeated Nazism in 1945, as well as, the United States and the free world. So that's a significant date for him from a historical perspective. So of course he's got to play to his domestic audience, because there's no way he can, again, try to appeal to the larger, world public opinion, because he's a pariah.
All right, Lieutenant General Richard Newton, thank you so much, as always.
Good evening.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.